that was the worst interrogation scene. Like that guy,
Oh yeah.
it's like I don't think he's ever smoked a cigar before because he was like,
Yeah. So this movie,
oh, let me read out the
one,
synopsis first. Where's it gone?
you have to clap for this one.
I feel like you know what it is. I feel like it's, I feel like it's part of our intro now, even though we don't need to.
Is it
Yeah,
clapping?
clapping. So
Yeah.
we might as well.
All right. Then. Let's see. Yeah.
3, 2,
3,
1.
2, 1. Are we doing it on the one? Or are we doing it
Let's
after the
try.
one? 3,
Let's
2,
let's try
1.
one.
3, 2.
Three,
What?
2, 1, like that. Okay. 3, 2,
3,
1.
2, 1.
Fuck it, it'll do.
Oh, don't
That'll
have to
do.
do, man.
I
Don't
don't
have to
think it
do.
matters for this one because we're using this
Yeah.
app, but feel like it's because that should be our intro. It's like
Yeah.
a really crappy intro, but that's what our intro is now.
Yeah. That works. That works. And a shit theme song.
You know what? I actually got a theme song that I'll play to you. I made a
Yeah.
theme song. Yeah,
How did you? Oh, look at you. You AI
yeah,
wizard.
all AI in it. My whole life is AI right now.
Yeah, I've been listening to some of those remixes they've been doing, like 50 Cent and stuff. It's amazing. Like it's pretty scary,
It's
actually,
amazing
but
and
it's
it's
good. It's
scary
good.
because like the next step is what they'll do is what you could do with music now. You'll probably be able to do with movies in a few years' time. So you'll probably be able to like on
Yeah.
your way home on the app to say, I want a film with James Dean, flipping who think of some dead Marilyn Monroe and Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger in a romantic comedy. And I want it to be
Yeah.
set in the
Yeah.
Bahamas. And then like by the time you get home, you'll have a
Uh,
2 hour movie.
yeah, but you know what I think what's going to happen in the future is that there'll just be a renaissance of theatre, is what I think, where people are just going to want to see real people in flesh. There won't be as much money in it, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think the movies will be the AI characters and all the made up stuff, the fake stuff. And I think there'll be this renaissance of theatre, and like actors will have to properly work in their craft to, do it live, is what I think, like how it used to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I think
And I think that's,
movies are definitely going to go down the AI route. I think it's just inevitable. It's
well, they're
inevitable.
trying that
Yeah.
anyway, with that whole theater kind of atmosphere and experience by
Mm,
making the movies bigger screens, like this experience and
mm,
3D and what they've done with Wizard of Oz and
yeah.
everything recently in the Sphere Dome in America. There's this new dome that they've got and they've spent, I want to say like 25 million to make it a bit AI and add more bits to Wizard of Oz. And apparently like the
Yeah.
tickets are $150 just to watch the film. Yeah.
Really? It's crazy.
But it's all
Crazy.
about the experience.
I don't know if it's worth that. But then again, I don't know. It is about shared experience, really, isn't it? But
Yeah.
in the end, the film's got to be good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
unfortunately, this film wasn't great. Let me.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've got a bit of a different opinion,
All
man.
right,
I think a
let
bit
me
of a
read the synopsis, the plot.
yeah.
Nick Randall, a former CIA operative turned bounty hunter, is drawn back to help track down a terrorist, Malek al-Rahim, who's bombed a cinema and is threatening a chemical attack in Los Angeles. Randall's former employer, the CIA, and uses him as bait. Things go sideways. There's personal vengeance, a big showdown, dead or alive.
Yeah, so obviously that's pretty much the whole film in a
Yep.
nutshell. But I think there are some good things. I think the lead actor, whoever is, what's his name,
Rutger
Rutger
Hauer.
something,
Hauer.
Howard,
Hauer. Yeah.
Howard, Howard. Yeah, he's good. He's good. Yeah. So I think for like you could have had that film with like a cigar and it would have flopped in terms of delivery, in terms of performance, in terms of the action and all that stuff. But I believed this Rutger guy. I believed him. I believed him that he would. They set the film up in a very simplistic way. Because I was watching it, and the first sort of 10 minutes, I was like, actually, I'm quite into this. So the bad guys are terrible, one-dimensional. Obviously, that's going through the phase where it's all brown guys that are the bad guys, in it. I think the 90s was the Russians, but like the 80s. It was like the brown guys
It
or
was the
whatever, and
Arabs
then
and the
the 70s
Russians in
it was
the 80s.
yeah, so it was the black
Yeah,
guys or whatever. But yeah, so they're going through their phase of that. And then randomly, I googled the guy, and the guy's like a rock singer or
yeah.
something. The guy, he's
Gene Simmons.
yeah.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on, but yeah, it's Gene Simmons from Kiss. So it's like,
Oh, okay, so I didn't know, I don't know much about Kiss, but I know they'll put makeup on or
yeah,
something anyway. But yeah, so the good things, I think the actor's good. He convinced me that he was that badass. I think they set it up in a very simplistic way. This is the formula. You know, the good guy is good, but he sort of works between the lines. He's got that one friend that you know is going to get killed later on, but we're all cool with that because you know they set it up in that really nice way. Um, he straight away they established that he catches bad guys for money, so that's what he does. And then somehow he's got some sort of past where you don't know. And then you got the guy turning up saying, "Yeah, we need your help." And he's like, "Okay, then." So you know that he's going to be this sort of bad guy. He goes and obviously the film's called Wanted Dead or Alive. So he's going to go and catch somebody that's like nobody else can catch, sort of thing. He's got a particular set of skills. You know what I mean? This is like pre-taking and all that sort of stuff. So you think, yeah, okay, we'll go along with it. And then you got the bad guys coming in. The bad guys, yeah, you don't know what their motivation is, but they're bad. So they blow up a cinema straight away. You know, okay, they're the guys we're meant to be hating. There's no real understanding. I think he's just like a career terrorist. That's what he does. I don't know what else. I don't know what his belief system is or anything, but he's a career terrorist. Okay, we'll go with that. And then it sort of builds up, and then you think, yeah, okay, there's this sort of weird love story that kind of comes in. And I was thinking, oh, they're going to do the typical breastshot, you know, that they always show in these 80s films. They didn't do that. I thought that was a good surprise, you know what I mean? I thought they tried to just give it a little bit more meat on the bones, you know what I mean? The relationship was a bit more meaty than other relationships that you see in these sorts of movies. If that's a Van Damme movie, like me, be all tits and arse
probably,
everywhere,
yeah.
you know what I mean? But with this, I think he had an air of um gravitas about him. I don't know what his history is. I don't know whether he's a proper actor from back in the day, but there's a certain intensity in everything that he was doing in his lines. And I thought these lines aren't the best lines, but he's delivering it. He's working his socks off here as an actor. You know what I mean? I thought this guy's acting. You know what I mean? And he's I believed it. I believed what he was doing. So simply because of his performance, I actually enjoyed the movie. There's lots of things that aren't good with it. The storytelling isn't the best. Yes, you got a lot of cliched, one-dimensional characters. Yes, the whole thing about using them as bait was a little bit weird and silly, and it didn't really work. You can see people going to get killed a mile off. You know. I mean, some of the fight scenes weren't the best, but because he was delivering lines in a different way to what I was expecting, it wasn't this cliched, you know, look to the camera or look away from the camera and give me a one line. It was actually, yeah. The only time it got a bit corny was right at the end with the last line, right at the end, is when he kind of went against type of the character. But for the rest of it, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm into this. I thought this was all right. This was all right. Yeah,
Uh,
I thought it was all right.
I I completely disagree with you. I, I,
Yeah,
I,
but,
I mean, the main thing is, I'm really glad that you were entertained and got enjoyment out of this. I thought it was a bit of a slog for me. I think what where I switched off straight away, and I think it's because we're living in the 21st century and not the 20th century, is the moment that they became Arab terrorists. And obviously it was a cliche back in the mid 80s and you just accepted it, but it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Maybe because of what's going on in the world at the moment and the fact that Arabs and Muslims.
yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but it's gonna be difficult to watch
I
these
know,
films that we're watching from the
I know.
80s. You know what I mean? Like it's like even if I watch films from the 70s, I have to park that because like, you know every single criminal so a lot of these 70s movies were black. You know what I mean? And they're all just stick up
Yeah.
kids, and you know you have to park it at some point and then say, okay, then is it what am I getting out of this movie? Does it entertain me? Are the action sequences good? Is the storytelling good? You know, do I believe the
And the
characters? That's the
answer
sort of
is
thing. And
no,
if you don't believe all the characters, then great. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't.
But
And that's the thing, because first of all, I thought the script was shit. I thought the dialogue was just wooden, just flat. And I realized why. It's because I looked it up. They only had 2 weeks to write the script before that.
Why don't they have two weeks to
So
write a
what happened
script?
was the producer booked the cinemas for the film already, and they had a script, but according to the director, the script was shit. So then they had to knuckle down and write a script within 2 weeks. So the idea came about the whole um, the LA, the theater bombing from his own experience, where his wife and his kid were in Harrods in the early 80s when the IRA bombed Harrods. But
Oh yeah.
but they survived. But he just wanted to make an anti-terrorist movie. What he ended up making was an anti-Arab, anti-Islam movie because it was just fucking cliched. Like every time, I know we're gonna be. I know I need to get over this because we're going to be watching films like Delta Force and Chuck. Like every fucking Chuck Norris film is going to be anti-Muslim and everything like that. But it kind of just caught me off guard, and the fact that Gene Simmons. I mean, I'm going to get a bit political now. Gene Simmons is an out-and-out Zionist who is very, very pro-Israel, anti-Palestine. So it kind of like looking back on it now, I'm thinking, was this a calculated move on his side to play an Arab terrorist to kind of push that, the cliche and the trope that they're terrorists? Because if you see at the beginning, he plays a Jew, and it's just like, um, it's almost like when he kills the other guy, you're thinking, oh my God, a Jew did that. And it's like, no, it was an Arab. Ah, got you.
I
Did
didn't
you
pick up
get
on
that?
it. I saw the beginning part. I just thought, I didn't think Gene Simmons was that good an
Yeah.
actor. I thought, like I thought it was one
Yeah.
dimensional. I thought it was all one dimensional, and it's cliched, and it's definitely the typical, the brown guys are bad, and the good guy who's obviously this blonde haired Aryan looking dude's going to come and save
Yeah.
the day. But I kind of accepted that when I started to watch it, because this is of that time, isn't it? You know what
Yeah.
I
I
mean?
mean, I get that.
Same way if I was watching what do you call it? One of them 70s movies. What's that one? Forget the name of it now. I'm not good at names. But there's always like some black actor getting beat up, and you know what I mean. It's like, what do I not watch them now?
Yeah.
And you know what
I
I mean.
know.
This
I
is
know. No, it just, because I saw it with Gene Simmons and knowing that he's an out and out Zionist, and I know we shouldn't be,
yeah, I
yeah,
don't know it. Yeah,
it makes me wonder whether it was all like a calculated move from not just him, but producers, filmmakers. Because if you look back on a lot of these movies, there was a lot of anti-Arab, anti-Muslim kind of sentiment like that narrative was pushed to the point where we're at now, where you get Palestinians being bombed and killed. They don't mean anything. I know this is getting political. I'm gonna go back, but this is where my mindset was. But then the director, he's come out and he said in the commentary a couple of years ago that because apparently he got criticized for being anti-Arab, like when the movie came out, by critics like Siskel and Ebert, and he actually said that it wasn't meant to be an anti-Arab movie. It was meant to be like an anti-terrorist movie because his thing is all terrorists are bad. That's it. That's why he's a career terrorist, like Hans Gruber. It's funny how like they don't really go into detail about his motive and why he's doing what he's doing. They
yeah.
just
That's what I was saying earlier. I don't know what he looked like. That was just his career. That's what he
yeah,
did. That's his job. Sort of thing. So it's like, oh, okay. Because usually if it's like if it was like you said, the Hans Gruber guy, his motivation was
yeah,
money, wasn't it? That was his motivation,
yeah.
wasn't it? He just wanted to get rich. So in some ways, yeah, he's a terrorist, but usually you associate that with some sort of idealism, don't you? It's some sort of mission that they believe is greater than them. But when it's just, oh, he's just a grubby thief, basically. That's pretty much what he was.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
I think they
It's the same
say
with his brother. His brother came in Dial with a Vengeance, and he came in and he was just a thief as
yeah,
well, wasn't he? So that's the whole thing was just thievery. You know what I mean? So with this guy, I don't know what his motive, but yeah, because at first I thought, oh, maybe he's coming to take out that guy, Rutger guy. I can't say
Well,
his name.
well,
Rutger, whatever his
that's why
name
they
is.
use him as bait, don't they? Because
But
they say the backstory is that, like,
yeah,
in the
yeah, but
70s, he took out all of them, bar this guy,
bar
bar
one,
one,
yeah.
and so it
So
was just like
yeah, but
revenge.
then they just sort of threw that in there. It wasn't like that was a
Yeah,
motivation. It was almost because there was a scene where he said, "Oh, but this is a
yeah.
bonus. This is a bonus or something like that." And he thought, "Oh, okay, so you're not there for him. So why did you blow out cinema then? Oh, I don't know, but okay, I'll just accept it. You're the bad
Yeah.
guy. Okay, you're the bad guy. That's what he's gonna do. You
And
know what I mean?"
let's just
And
up it by just like emphasizing how bad this guy is, because as he's leaving the cinema, he strokes that kid's face and then he just walks out. So we know that kids are going to die watching Rambo in the cinema.
yeah, actually, yeah, forgot about that bit. Yeah, yeah. There was Rambo as
Yeah,
well,
it
wasn't
was.
they? They don't have to be Rambo,
So
did it? Yeah, it
yeah,
was
it's proper
Rambo.
meta
They had to
moment.
go,
So it's just like our action
yeah, they have to
movie
go.
is nodding, giving you a nod to Rambo because he's like the quintessential American hero at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah. And he's, like I say, he's just, yeah. I mean, like a lot of these movies, the the bad guys are just one dimensional, aren't
Yeah,
they? It only started to be later on. You start to get layers to or grey areas when it comes to the bad guys. I think they've probably gone back a little bit because if you watch any Jason Statham movies, they're pretty much the same, aren't they?
yeah.
You know, a bad guy's a bad guy. You don't know what motivation is, but but yeah, I mean, there's like a couple of scenes where he's torturing that guy, and he just gets off on being bad, doesn't he? That's just his thing. Like, I don't know if they do something with his eyes because I know you know he wears makeup in his career and stuff, but his eyes are really
Yeah,
dark. He's just like, yeah, and then it's like he just, what, I think he killed the guy,
I
didn't
think
he?
he does.
Or
That
yeah,
CIA agent in the end.
yeah,
Yeah, he tortures him
yeah.
and then kills him.
The CIA, man, they must be the worst like CIA branch in the history of the CIA because they come across like they were just like state troopers. They didn't come across like CIA to me because CIA usually in movies are really slick,
Yeah,
aren't they? And they got all the
but they're just
gadgets
shady bastards, aren't
and
they?
they're smart. You know what I mean? Or they do it, or they're meant to be. That's how they come across in any sort of drama you're watching. Like they're like the best of the best sort of thing. And this, I just look like, how come you're giving it all? You're using this one guy's bait because you guys can't. I don't get it. You got the gadgets? Don't you know how to catch this guy? You know what I mean? Like how is this guy just holed up in some flat somewhere, what they call it in America,
Yeah,
apartment somewhere, and you guys have got no intelligence on the ground? You know what I mean? It just feels a bit like you guys just don't know what you're doing,
and these
really.
guys could just
And that guy,
they could just smuggle weapons
like,
and bombs and everything anywhere and
yeah,
like
yeah,
not get found out. How does that work out in
yeah.
LA?
And they're all just like they're just all rubbish, aren't they? They all look fat and just tired and
Yeah,
middle aged. It's just like you look at the CIA in movies recently or in dramas recently, they're all like working out, they're all slick, they're all quick, they're all like it's almost like superhuman, sort of like the best of the best. But these guys, man, just look terrible, man. They just look like they're just waiting for their pensions. He's like that guy who's is it Lipton?
oh
I've seen him in some other
yeah,
stuff
he's
before.
been like in loads of movies. It's been like he's one of those actors that he's just character actor. You see him in anything and everything. He's still going on. He's still around today. Apparently, let me just
Is he?
hold on. Let me just.
He must be like 90 now because he looked old, didn't
Well,
he?
he was born in
He must be
19. Where's it gone? He his name is Jerry Hardin, and he was born in 1929. He's in the yeah,
no
and he's in
way.
the Firm, Big Trouble in Little China. Um, yep,
1929. He's
he's
still
still around.
around.
He made a film this year called
What must he must he?
At the End of Century
Wow.
Trail. Is it,
Well, I respect that. I respect that.
and whilst he's been loads of TV shows and just like loads of
Yeah.
movies,
It's a proper working
proper
actor.
working actor. That's what you call.
Yeah, well done him. Well done
Yeah.
him. So there's like that guy that we reviewed like last time. He was in that one film with Seagal. And he's played his mate and his friend in Seagal with Seagal in that film.
Oh,
What's it?
Martha Death. Oh,
With the
Keith
back.
David.
Yeah,
Keith
yeah,
David.
mate. Yeah, mate. Boy, yeah, he's been in everything.
Yeah.
Isn't he? He's just a working. It's solid working actors. He's because you look at their is it IMDb page? You look at like just each year. And you look at the amount of work they've done in that one year. You think, well, there's only 12 months in a year, so I don't know how you're fitting in all this work. Like you must be like, yeah, get a script. Okay, yeah, I'll just
Just
quickly
do
just
it. Yeah, and
memorize
do it.
that. Go and do my
Yeah.
scenes. Next week I'm doing the next thing. You know what I mean? Because it's just like boom, 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 boom. You kind of think, how you just working like that. You
But
know what I mean? For year after year after year. So I just
but
respect
you
it.
know
Yeah.
what? Keith David is being rewarded for it because he's been awarded the Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
Has he
Yeah,
really? Has he really? He
he
deserves
deserves
it.
it.
He
He's a
deserves it. He
solid,
deserves it.
solid actor.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. I mean, I like to do a lot of things. Like, actually, we've got to do Dead Presidents
Yeah.
one day, but I like to be as well. You know, he's just your go-to guy. Solid.
Did
Yeah,
you really
no, I
like
respect him.
I thought Rutger Hauer or Rutger Hauer. Um I didn't think he was that good as the lead of man, but apparently um the original choice was Mel Gibson and then it was James Caan
Yeah,
and then they went with him because he was cheaper option.
yeah. Mel Gibson could have made. I mean, Mel Gibson at that stage, 80s, coming off Mad Max and all that, he could have made any of those types of films work. You know, it's a straightforward formula, isn't it? You know, he's a good guy doing bad things, but for a good cause. Um, and then he needs help. He needs to help catch one of the worst, but he needs more motivation to do it. So then you end up killing the person that he loves. Now he's fully motivated. So the final third of the film, or whatever, it's just him
But
going out
he's
and just kicking
just a
ass.
maverick through and through the moment
But
he walks in to that.
yeah, I mean, it's a formula that works. You know, you could write that movie
Exactly.
now and have, like I keep saying, Statham, because that's the guy that does these types of
Yeah.
movies now, isn't it? You know what I mean? You can have that movie
You
now.
have your
Even I
maverick
think,
who doesn't play by the
yeah,
book. I mean, when he goes to the convenience store to grab the criminal, he decides to blow up half of the convenience store, and
yeah,
then no
exactly.
one even says anything. They just say thank you. He pays for the newspaper, and then he just goes. And it's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck? Like you just blew up.
yeah,
The criminal didn't blow up the fucking store. You did, you twat.
yeah. No, yeah. No, he did do that. He did do that.
But you know
Yeah,
why?
yeah. I
He
forgot
doesn't play
about
by the
that.
rules
That
because he's a
was
fucking maverick.
yeah. That was kind of
Yeah.
unnecessary. That was kind of, and
But
then
you
he
know
just
why?
handed them like, I think, like a
Yeah,
$10 bill or something, or a
yeah,
$20
just
bill,
like
because he's that's like
keep the change.
that's what you get. But to be fair though, in that moment, he did save that girl from being kidnapped and that guy from probably being killed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So having your shot up, or your life, kind of, I'll go for the store getting shot up. Really, you know what I mean?
But then
But
the money was still stolen, wasn't it? They took all the money and they robbed the place.
yeah. But yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because he let the other two guys
Yeah.
go, didn't he? He just got the bounty guy, didn't he? That he was gonna get his money from.
And
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
just like any
but
maverick, they look like they live like paupers, but they don't because they've got a flipping massive warehouse that they live in with everything state of the art equipment and
yeah, he's got a
fucking
boat as
weapons,
well.
and then a boat that he lives on because he's a maverick. He doesn't live
Yeah,
by the rules.
yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. So it's a Statham movie, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
Statham movie, but but no, because I thought, because we're watching a lot of old films, and luckily, apart from the films that I remember that I've watched from growing up that I loved or had a soft spot for, I'm watching it now, always knowing that I'm watching it through the lens of 21st century and all that stuff. So I was consciously saying to myself, let me park that 21st century bit and trying to take myself back to a kid in the 80s, and let's watch this movie, and does it impact me in any sort of way? Can I allow it to impact me in any sort of way? And it's the same as when I was watching that Van Damme film.
Double impact.
It's like the first 10 minutes. Yeah, the first 10 minutes, I thought, for the first 5 minutes, I thought, that's pretty good. These old films, they know how to hook you in, or they had a way of like keeping it really
Yeah.
simple. There's no ambiguity to it. There's no like slow build up, or we're going to slowly just, get people to slowly get to know these characters or whatever. Just straight away, what's the setup?
Yeah.
Here's the good guy. Here's the bad guy. There's a thing that happens. That's the motivation for the bad guy. That's the motivation for the good guy. Here we go. Let's get started. We've got ourselves a movie. That's kind of how it worked. So and me not liking to watch 3 hour movies.
Oh yeah.
I like an hour and a half,
Yeah. I'm
punchy,
loving.
keep it
Yeah,
sweet.
I'm loving
Yeah,
the fact that we're watching movies that are under 2 hours, between the hour and a half and an hour and 45 minute mark. That's that. I've
yeah,
got no complaints about.
yeah. That's the kind of thing. If you can't tell a story in that sort of time, I'm not saying that the story isn't worth telling, because clearly there are great stories that are worth telling well over 2 hours. But there's only a few
Yeah.
really. I kind of think when it comes to action, it's different when you're doing like long form drama. you know, you need to really develop characters, and there's got to be nuance and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to action, you just want a straight punch in the
Yeah.
mouth, don't you? You want it to just be like hit me really hard, popcorn movie. Who are the bad guys? Give me some good explosions. Give me some car chases. Give me some good one-liners. I'm entertained. You know what I mean? And I thought Rutger had a way about him. I thought there was because I'm not sure if I've actually properly seen it, but I think I've seen bits of it when he was that
Yeah.
hitchhiker guy, where he's like the bad guy that hitch. He's a
I
bad
think
guy,
that
isn't he?
came out
And there's
around the
like an
same
intensity
time. I
about
think
him.
that came out the year before.
Yeah, there's like an intensity about him. Um, so and like I said, growing up, I never really watched any of his movies. I guess because they're all 18s.
Yeah.
You know, I never really watched any of his movies really. So I never got to see him. So it's nice to actually just sort of rediscover all these old action guys now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, there's stuff wrong with it. 100% of stuff wrong with it. And I know if I watch Chuck Norris or what's that other guy? Other guy did revenge movies where his wife gets killed or something, and he goes, they're made about 20
Charles
of them.
Bronson.
Yeah, Charles Bronson. I forgot to watch that. It's always like stick up guys, you know what I
I
mean?
can't wait
Some, you
until
know.
we start watching the Death Wish movies. I
Yeah,
can't wait.
I know it's gonna be the most
Yeah.
racist thing, you know what I mean? But I'll have to try and park it and think, yeah, okay, let's see. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
100% get what you're saying. It's not great. It's not great, and it does muddy the experience, you know, because of the world that we're living in right
Did you
now.
know that it was a
But
sequel? Technically, it's a sequel.
is it really to
It was
what?
a like a very, very loose sequel to a TV show called Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen. So Steve McQueen was a
All right,
bounty hunter, Western bounty hunter. So the idea came about was, I think the producer thought, what if you had the grandson of that a bounty hunter in LA? So that was the
okay,
premise, and
fair
and
enough
that's how
then.
the
Then they may as well just carry on make another one there. What if you had? I mean, Rutger probably don't have any kids in the movies, but maybe there's some,
well, if you see the way
you
it
know,
was,
love child
well, if
somewhere.
you see the way it was set up, it's kind of like got a very, very Dirty Harry kind of ending to it, and I think it was set up for sequels, but even as far as I can see, the film it cost, where's it gone? Cost $4.5 million to make. Opening weekend was 2.8 million roughly, which put it at number 8 in the charts, I think. And then domestic total was around the 7 million mark. And if you compare that to, so it came out in 1986, towards the end of 1986, but then it came out on a wide release in 1987, January. And if you look at the film action movies that came out in 86 and in 87, in 86
Yeah,
you had Cobra was one of the major like action movies of the 80s.
not seen it. Never seen it. Never seen it. We've got to do Cobra. Got to do Cobra. Never seen it.
So Cobra made 49 million compared to, well, yeah,
Wow,
and
really?
Aliens was out that same year. And then in 1987, you had Lethal Weapon, Predator, and what was the other one? There's another one as well. I can't remember now. But you just think about it, you have like those,
Yeah, they're top movies. They're top
those
movies.
redefined action
Yeah,
movies at the time. So
I can't wait to do them ones. And
yeah,
Predator. Yeah,
we're going
yeah,
to go into a proper
yeah.
deep dive when we do Predator.
Yeah, yeah. Those are elite level sort of movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. When you say it like that in that context, yeah, it's not. It doesn't.
It's,
It pales
yeah,
in comparison. It's not on that
I
level
think
at all.
if
But
if I was a kid and like my parents picked up from the video store, I would have just thought, yes, solid movie. But I think because I was thinking like, would I have been made up with him as a leading actor, action man? And I wouldn't. And I think at that point, all the action men were quite muscular, kind of, do you know what I mean, and athletic. And I don't think he came
no, no,
across,
athletic. Mel Gibson was athletic. I wouldn't say he was big and muscular. I mean, the guys who
but he was still
he
ripped
took
though.
that to another level, just the two, wasn't it?
But
Yeah, he was. Yeah, the guys who took it to a level was obviously Schwarzenegger and
yeah.
Stallone. They're the guys who took it to that
And then
level,
here you got,
like action man
yeah, and then
figures.
you got this guy with dad bod trying to sell himself as an action man.
Yeah, he kind of reminded me of like Tyson Fury's dad, but young version. You know what I mean? Like it's got that sort of thing about him. It's got that sort of stoop.
Yeah.
But but I think, like I said, he's got an intensity about the way he delivered the lines. I think the lines weren't very good
They were
lines, and
terrible
any
lines.
you can get any other actor, it would have been pretty rubbish the way they would have delivered those lines. But there's like a little bit where he's he's in the car and his girlfriend's been killed and his mate's been killed, and he's all just there and he says, "I'm hurting, this
Yeah.
hurts" or whatever, and like there's a little moment for, yeah, that's acting, that's good acting.
Really,
And there's another bit
really.
where
No,
he
wait, wait,
goes, "Oh,
stop, stop, stop,
you
stop,
were in
stop.
arm."
Let's dial it back to when he says it's hurting. You actually bought that.
Yeah, I bought that. Yeah, I bought that, man. I bought that. I think obviously you're coming from it from well, you're probably like a you're like a director, aren't you? You got like a director's hat on, and you can see, oh yeah, this not it's not working for me. But I believed it. I believed it. I thought, yeah, if he did that in audition, I'd be like, yeah, he's got the part.
Yeah.
He's got the part. I think he's intense. I'm hurting. I'm hurting. And I bet when he said, he's looking at the fat guy. And he goes, takes a picture. Goes, "You're in Nam." Yeah, a lot of people didn't make it. I was like, yeah, because you were in Nam too, weren't you? I could
Yeah.
see because even though you're not saying it, I could see. You know what I mean? Like, there's that little bit of past trauma coming out. And it's like, yeah, Nam, man. All these guys were in
Yeah,
Nam.
and even that, I didn't buy. I didn't buy any of the lines. I just thought they were really, yeah. I don't know whether it was the delivery or if it was the directing. I just didn't buy any of it. But at the same time, I know when I was watching it, I was thinking, I'm.
Do you think he's a worse or better actor than Van Damme?
He's a better actor than Van Damme, but I don't think he's a good action man. But then at the same time, I'm just judging it on this one movie. We still need to watch Blind
Yeah.
Fury. There's quite a few that there's that spate from the mid '80s to the late '80s, like these Rutger Hauer movies, that action movies.
It's interesting. We'll have to do a conversation another day about it. But like, what makes a good action man? Yeah,
Yeah,
what makes a good leading man for action? Because there's different types. Because I would argue that you know a Liam Neeson on a good day is better than a Jason Statham on a good day. Yeah, and they're very very different. Liam Neeson's very is much older, but there's a gravitas in how you deliver lines, and there's a way where you can do the fighting where you can move less but still have an impact. When you're watching something like a Seagal, he's a guy who tries to move less, but he just looks like he's just not moving. Yeah, like none of it's convincing. Like it just looks. I mean, I think there's one film he does where he has an action fight where he's sitting down on the
yeah,
chairs. Like, how lazy is that? Like, that's some of the laziest. Like, there's nothing about that. But with a Liam Neeson, a guy was in his 60s, I think, when he was doing Taken, or he's near enough in his 60s, and yet every single fight that he was in, even though it's ridiculous, every single fight that he was in, I completely believed it. You know what I mean? And there's a certain way that he delivered his lines, and he sort of had an authority in his presence on screen. But then, you got a Statham where, because he's not the best with the line delivery, he has to be
yeah,
physical. So everything has to be exaggerated and physical. You know what I mean? So two different types of actors, two different types of action leads. But I would say Liam Neeson carries it better than Statham does. And then it's different again if you've got a Stallone with Schwarzenegger,
yeah.
haven't
But
you?
I feel
You know?
like in that era, you had obviously Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, and Rutger Hauer, and a few others as well. But Rutger Hauer is probably, if there was like a top 10, be way down bottom of the half, probably like 8, 7, or 8, maybe. Even though,
Yeah.
like you're saying, he's a good actor, but then and I'm going to reserve judgment until I watch all of his other movies in the '80s, the action movies that he's done. But he is a solid actor. I mean, he did Blade Runner. He came from Europe. He is a really good actor. But I just don't think that this was the best vehicle for him. And like, there were moments where he's trying to be best mates with the other guy, who played the dad in Boy Meets World, but just didn't feel the chemistry. I didn't feel any, it's just, I didn't buy into any of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. The friendship felt a little bit
Yeah.
forced. You kind of think, I don't know what your guys' history is,
The
but
banter just didn't,
but
it just felt forced. And it's the dialogue was shit. The writing was crap.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes Hollywood pull out the bag when they do things
Yeah.
urgently. I mean, Home Alone was done quite urgently,
Yeah,
wasn't it? And that was pulled out the bag. But Back to the Future as
yeah.
well, like in terms of script writing. But yeah,
But Home Alone you
no,
can't compare because John Hughes he could write a script in a weekend and it was done, a polished script.
yeah,
So, but he was like one of a kind. But this one, I mean, I mean, it became a bit of a cult hit anyway because I remember it being in all the video stores and the posters and people renting it out and stuff. It just wasn't on that kind of top tier level action movie that we were used to watching.
yeah, yeah.
But you know that,
That's the thing, yeah, because it's like like I said, just I'm enjoying finding these movies that I would never have watched back in the day, and thinking, okay, well, what's this? You know what I mean? And trying to just see if there's anything in it, if there's anything good in it or not. I mean, obviously some things aren't great,
yeah,
but I'm still enjoying watching them. 'Cause it's like from a different lens as an older person now watching it. It's just like, oh, okay, I see what they're trying to do here. Yeah, it doesn't work. Well, that doesn't work, but I can see what they're trying to do here. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Compared to the ones that you just know.
yeah. I'm sure it's because of the budget they had to make cuts and stuff, and I'm sure it would have been a better movie if they had a bigger budget. But apparently, though, like you don't like that last line, "Fuck the bonus."
Yeah,
So the director and the writer, Brian Taggart, were so excited that they created that line. They were jumping up and down on the couch, screaming "fuck the bonus" because they thought that they had their dirty Harry line that everyone was going to quote. And even the producer, he jumped in and he started joining them, jumping up and down because they were dead like certain that this line was just going to catch on and everyone's going to be quoting it. But it wasn't to be because the film didn't really make any money. No one really watched it.
it
It
didn't
didn't
work. It
work.
didn't work for me because he went through all that. He went through all that battle, massive battle to get him, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm stick to my principles, and I'm going to take you in
Yeah,
alive and get my bonus, and I'm not going to let you die as a soldier, and blah blah blah." And it's like, "Oh, we're going to let him. He's going to blow him up and blow his head off." Like, that didn't make sense really. That bit didn't make sense. And then he goes and sits there all sad and depressed because he's lost everybody. But that was his own fault, really, letting his mate go in disguise, knowing that he's being watched and stuff. They could obviously that was dumb. But
yeah,
yeah, it was. You could tell that setup was going to happen. You could tell that his mate was going to die because he was a bit of a nothing
yeah,
character. You know, he didn't really add
yeah.
anything to the story.
You
Yeah,
knew. I was quite surprised that the girlfriend died, but I always thought that either the best mate would die or the guy from the CIA who's his link.
yeah,
I thought one of them two would die because that's
yeah.
what happens in action movies.
I One thing that I did find funny was the cartoon bombs.
Yeah,
Like, it's just like sticks of
yeah,
dynamite, lots of little bits of wire, and a clock.
yeah.
And then like the explosion was just so massive compared to like the little bomb that they put down. You know what I mean? It's just like yeah, but it's just like okay then. I don't know whether it was like what they call it
Yeah,
miniatures. You know,
yeah,
miniatures because it's like you were saying it's 4 million. I kind of think yeah, I don't think there were proper explosions because they kind of just looked too. It just looked a bit like
oh
sticks, like looked a
yeah,
bit
it
rubbish
probably was
basically.
miniatures.
Yeah, and then it just slowed it down, sort of thing. But it just looked like miniatures to me. But yeah, it just made me laugh. Like this is a bomb. Can you tell it's a bomb, everybody?
Yeah.
It's just a bomb. Yeah.
Remember those bombs that we used
And
to
these
watch in
guys here, they're the
cartoons?
bad
Those ones from
guys.
the cartoons, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the most obvious things. Like it's just like nowadays, but it's all like
Yeah.
digital and stuff, and you can't, you don't even know what you're looking at. But in those days, like the audience needs to know it's a bomb. So let's just make a cartoon version of a bomb. You're gonna get Roadrunner come along with it, you know what I mean?
And what was with
Yeah,
the whole
just yeah,
oil drums? Them just popping out of oil drums.
yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't even know why they were going to that place. To be
Yeah, I
fair,
mean,
and those it must be proper claustrophobic in there as well. Like you're just sitting in that. So
because
why not
were they
just
supposed to bomb somewhere else? They
like
were on their way to somewhere to bomb, and then they got.
yeah, I
Oh,
don't know. Didn't make
yeah,
sense to me. Why don't you just get like a truck with a like just jump out the back of the truck? I don't know. I don't know what it felt. It felt like you've gone through all this effort doing the bombs, but now you want to have people with
yeah,
guns do shooting. Isn't that seems a bit more? like a lot of work. That just why don't you just rig them all with bombs then and just go and blow the thing up and then press. And then why do you need to then drive in? And then it says, "Well, wait for the signal." What's the signal? I'm just going to press the horn on the on the other truck. Like, why are you close to it? Like, I don't get. Yeah,
Just
that didn't. None of that made sense to me. None of that made sense. It's almost like, oh, we just need to get them
we
all
need to
there
just get
so
from
he can
A
have his
to
big
B
showdown.
and then have an explosion,
But
and then
yeah,
that's it.
so he's got to have his showdown sort of thing. It's like, yeah, and then they can have their standoff, like the bad guy and the good guy. Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, okay,
It's just funny, like every
yeah.
time they go to the baddies, you'd have this like really Middle Eastern music, playing, just in case you didn't know what they were. The Middle Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. But it's funny, like in America, like because these are Western American
Yeah.
movies, and I haven't seen many Russian movies. I wonder if Russian movies, the bad guys are
All
all Western
Americans, yeah,
Americans. You
probably.
know what I mean? Like guys with rubbish
Yeah,
accent doing American, like, oh yeah, they're the bad guys because like I said, 70s it was like mainly black guys. Then the 80s you got the Arabs. 90s is kind of like Arabs and Russians, and then I think the noughties is more like Mexicans.
yeah.
Like or maybe the noughties is pretty much Mexicans with the bad guys. I don't know what it is right
I
now.
mean,
I don't know where the bad guys
we
are
had
right
in
now.
the noughties, we had the Middle Eastern again, because of 9/11, post
Yeah,
9/11, and all that shit. So not shit, but post 9/11 stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah. Obviously you always get the English guys, but they're always like the over the
yeah,
top bad guys,
yeah,
aren't they? In movies. So yeah, it's a funny one. It's a funny one. The evolution of the bad guy in movies. Like, well, who are the go-to bad guys in
yeah,
movies? It does make you laugh.
yeah.
It's always reflects what's going on politically as well. So I think, well, the audience would accept this
Or
person
no,
as the bad guy. So let's
yeah,
go
and
with
it's
that.
also to do with what narrative is Hollywood and politicians trying to push, to get the public on their side. Do you know what I mean? It's just, Arabs are bad, Arabs are bad.
It's clumsy though. It's always
Yeah,
clumsy. It's always clumsy. Because I don't think there's a lot of the studios are that smart or that don't know what they call it devious in a way. I think it's just clumsy. Like this is what's going on in the news. This is what people accept as the bad people. So we want to make a movie that's going to bang. So we need to have these people as the bad guys. When you had it with the IRA, didn't you, for a
yeah.
while, like the Irish. That was like the thing. I suppose more in British dramas and stuff like that. The bombs and all that sort of stuff. So it's like the public will accept that. It scares them. Scary. Yeah. Let me go with that. Kind of think it's a similar sort of thinking because these Hollywood guys, a lot of them are like coked up half the time, aren't they? You know what I mean?
I
Especially
mean,
in
it
the
was the
80s.
80s.
Like that. Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Smoking cigars and going, yeah, let's put this person with that
I
person,
took
and
talking about smoking cigars. That was the worst interrogation scene. Like that guy.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I don't think he's ever smoked a cigar before because he was like, do you know what I mean? He's just like,
Yeah.
did they just hire him on the day or something and just said, here's a cigar, just make it work?
Yeah.
Because he was terrible.
I don't know what is going on with his hair and that
Yeah.
net, man. But it's
But
just like, yeah,
that was
let's
the
just put
stereotype,
this
wasn't it? It's just like Hispanic. Yeah.
stereotype
Yeah.
Mexican, yeah, Mexican from LA, and something
And
there.
plus, it's just like you're in a police
Hey,
station,
puto.
you're going to let your mate interrogate that guy and you're not going to do anything about it. I mean,
Yeah, no one's asking questions as well. Like this guy's just come in. He's not a collected police officer,
yeah.
and he has got rights, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like Matey Boy said at the beginning, I've got Miranda
Yeah.
rights. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he was like, I didn't arrest you yet, but I don't know. Well,
Oh, I believed it. I believed it.
well, at least you got something out of it.
I've got something like, it's an hour and a half that I'm never going to get back, but there were moments in it I thought, okay,
I mean,
yeah,
an hour
I'm
and
watching
45
it.
minutes.
Hour and
Yeah.
45 minutes,
And it
yeah.
felt
Well, the last 15 minutes could have been, they could
they
have cut
could have
that
cut
down.
most of it
But
down.
yeah, but yeah, it's what it is. Will I watch another one of his movies?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean, we'll
give it
have
a
to
go.
anyway. We have to
No.
watch more of his
Yeah, I'll give it
movies.
a go.
But
What happened to him anyway? Was he because has he not? He don't make no movies and he's dead, is he?
he
Or
passed
he
away
makes
last
movies
year.
now?
I think it was this
Oh,
year or
okay.
last year. But he was making movies. He's in Batman Begins. Yeah.
Oh, is he? I can't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
well-known actor.
Okay. Well,
And plus, you probably remember him from those Guinness adverts.
Oh
Mad,
yeah, of
you know.
course, yeah, yeah, the
Yeah. Do you
Guinness
remember
adverts,
those
yeah,
black and
yeah,
white Guinness
yeah,
adverts
Guinness,
where he comes and he's like,
yeah, black and white,
he
yeah,
talks some poetry and that was it, and then he cuts the
yeah,
Guinness.
that's it, yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, that's probably what it is. That's probably what I'm remembering subconsciously because he had that sort of gravitas,
Yeah.
and he always rocked up. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, but yeah, I'll give one of his films another
Yeah.
go, or a go, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah,
Nice. Cool.
cool. Wrap it up
Yeah,
here.
all done, man.
Yeah, you're taking off the
Hold on,
recorder
let me
there.
just take that off.
All
How
right.
you been anyway? All good?
Yeah, not too